I've wanted to be an actor since I was tiny, really, and that would be because I was watching stories on the TV and being kind of captivated by that. I mean, it was television that got me interested in it, definitely, because I suppose because when you're very young, that's probably your first experience of acting. Certainly, the theatre, which has become a great love of mine, isn't something I really experienced till much later, apart from maybe the odd pantomime with Stanley Baxter, you know, when I was very wee. But yeah, it was being captivated by stories and thinking I wanted to be part of that. I suppose what continues to be very thrilling about it is the fact that people love the show so much, and that it being kind of at the centre of something that is so loved and that people get so enthusiastic about is very humbling, really. So I suppose that's quite a powerful experience. Probably the funniest person we've ever had on set was probably Peter Kay, who doesn't stop, really. He's too funny, because during takes he's still being funny, which is always a little bit tricky for keeping a straight face, I suppose. I was quite glad that I only had, well, not glad, because it was great to meet him, but I was quite relieved from a professional point of view that I didn't have too many scenes with Peter, because I don't know how Mark Warren, who was in that episode a lot more than me, I don't really know how he kept a straight face. I don't think I've actually removed anything from the set. The one little bit of the TARDIS came off and we're going to be replaced. So Billy and I got given one each by Arwell, our standby art director. But there's nothing that I've purloined yet. I read something once that posited that theoretically it's possible, but the mechanics required to spin things past the speed of light were probably physically impossible. But I don't have a clue. Snooker, I quite like the snooker. And Scotland's quite good in snooker. It's one of the few sports that we do quite well in, unlike the football. I mean, I love them as a sort of television icon, as something that is so instantly recognisable and so resonant. I think it's one of those images that's passed into popular culture now. I mean, I think even if you've never seen Doctor Who, it's unlikely you've never seen a Dalek. It's a brilliant piece of design. It's timeless. Arthur and I haven't been in touch for a while. Unfortunately, we sort of lost touch after he disappeared in Versailles. There was actually literally an idea to have him on board the TARDIS and have him just, I think Stephen Moffat, the writer of that episode, was quite keen to have Arthur just roaming around the TARDIS. So every now and again you'd hear the odd whinny from off screen, but it never happened, unfortunately. It's not the most practical thing, filming with a horse, and even in that episode, The Girl in the Fireplace, the big finale, which we filmed in Ragley Hall near Stratford-upon-Avon, he wasn't allowed in because it was an old historic, I can't remember if it was National Trust or who owned it, but it was there was various tiles on the floor and so on that they couldn't really have an actual horse clomping around, so he was green screened in to Ragley Hall. So the last time I saw him was in a paddock somewhere. Part of the joy of it for me is just seeing what comes next and seeing what the next script reveals, and I'm very happy to leave that job to them, really. The idea you've got in your head is similar to what they will ultimately be matting in next to you, and because a couple of times I've been caught out, I read the script and inevitably you form your own imaginative picture of what's coming, but it's worth always just checking that what you're assuming is what is ultimately going to be there. Every now and again we're required to do things in the air, whether it's sliding down a lift shaft in New Earth, or climbing up something high, which you usually have to be harnessed for, and that can be uncomfortable just because quite rightly for health and safety purposes, they have to make sure that were you to fall, you're not going to damage yourself. So you get trussed into a variety of safety harnesses, and they can be a little bit uncomfortable, especially if you're left hanging there for a long time, because they don't look particularly uncomfortable. So people don't really think to let you down. If you're hanging in midair, hopefully it will look completely, because usually, the wires and so on will be removed in post-production. So it has to look like they're not there. But actually, if you're just hanging off a wire for any length of time, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. It can chafe.